this week.
Alright, so the big one. So House of X, Powers of X.
Alright, let's go on to TV.
Alright, so who wants to start?
I will.
Go for it.
It is so nice to have a book that I needed to read twice.
Yep. Or thrice.
Right.
I need to read it so many times.
And everything about it is so well executed. I didn't know what to expect because, you know, I've read Hickman before, but wasn't nearly as in tune to kind of his style as say you were. You were just really, really pumped about it.
Mm-hmm.
I went into it very blind, not knowing what it was going to be, and the execution is great. The depth of the mythology that he's created is great. The little inserts between the story that add to it are so interesting. The art is incredibly strong, and he's done something truly unique in decades of reboots.
Yes.
You know, it's Crisis on Infinite Earths was like the first reboot of my lifetime. You know, and to me, everybody else, everything has been trying to chase it. You know, DC is coming up. They're trying to do it now with whatever the fuck they're doing, which is exhausting me.
That should be going on the other one. Retcon my life.
But this is self-contained into this world, but it essentially affects the rest of it without derailing what's going on in other books.
Right.
Let
me back. Can I interrupt for a second?
Sure.
Can we discuss? I mean, book 3.
Spoiler free.
I just
don't want to, because it is such a. You say book 3, you're talking about.
All right, hold up.
Second
So wait.
issue.
So anyway, all right, let's just say the spoilers abound because I don't know that we can.
You can't
not talk about
not
it. Yeah.
talk about it.
So
Let's
if you don't want to have
So
spoilers,
as
you
of
might
this
want to
episode,
mute.
we've got 4 issues out. We've got 2 issues of House and 2 issues of Powers.
Right.
So there will be there will be spoilers.
And also now the titles make sense too. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
At first I was like, how is it 10? How do you know it's 10 on an
I
egg?
keep saying X.
And now it's like, oh, that makes sense now. So Moira, is that it? Moira. I can't say it. Anyway.
Just call her McTaggart.
She's amazing in this. And what they have done with her, I think any other writer would have screwed it up and made it hack, like a hack job. And instead it's just screaming brilliant.
So has she been in the previous? Because y'all seem to know who she
Okay,
was.
so
She is integral to the X-Men.
But she's just adding a new layer to her.
Okay, so
She has been human.
She's been human this whole
And eventually she died.
Yeah.
And she was a love interest of Charles.
Okay.
She was in the movies. Did you see the movies?
Yeah, well, probably not all.
So she has always been in the mythology. She has been kind of a B part.
Yes.
in
It's a
the
side character.
Side character. She was a friend of Professor X, who was a doctor, who had a kid who was a mutant, and
She
just
kind of dated Banshee.
background kind of character.
Forgot about that.
Well, they literally have turned her into probably
the most important.
the key character in the entire X-Men universe. I mean, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
And it will take me chills just talking about it, really. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I don't know.
No, that's fine. We've talked about it like, is Charles controlling the X-Men that we're seeing now? And there were those little clues, like at one point it seemed like Jean was crying when she seemed to question something. And you got Wolverine playing with children, and you've got
With a big smile on his face.
Right,
Just out of character.
Cyclops kind of doing something, out of character there.
The very first page is
These bodies
bunch
coming
of
out,
weird
right.
scenes of mutants coming out of these like egg-looking things, and Charles saying something like,
To be my X-Men,
This is a totally classic line.
So and then plus we never see Charles's face. We only see Charles's face in flashback. I don't know. That's the thing I like about it.
So
we're
many
four
mysteries.
We're 4 issues in, and I have a ton of questions. But they're the questions I want to have. Unlike, what was that Justice League thing that pissed me off recently?
The Doomsday Clock?
No, that too.
Don't continue. No.
What?
Deceased.
No, not that. That's pissed me off too.
Heroes in Crisis.
Oh God, that really pissed me off. Not that.
Really?
Like left and right.
So everything.
The one that was in Justice League when they went to the dark multiverse or whatever. Multiverse? No. But yeah, that.
The source wall stuff.
Yes, the source wall stuff. They were trying to make all these questions, and I was going, I don't care. This is stupid. Oh yeah. And now we've got the Joker Batman that's
Yeah.
The Batman who laughs.
oh, I'm so exhausted.
So I mean,
Because that's the
Are
difference.
you talking about metal?
that's it.
That's it. Metal pissed me off so bad because it started off so good. Remember?
It did. The first book
We were like, ooh, they're bringing this Hawkman and this stuff. Ooh, it's so good. It's so rich. It's so blah, blah. We were excited.
Yeah.
And then it went.
Then it drove off cliff.
Yeah, it totally did. A couple trying to get married at the Grand Canyon. Off into the Canyon.
So I'll say this.
Go for it.
I have not been excited or looking forward to an X-Men comic, or really any comic, in a very long time. I'm just being frank. Although my name is Derek. And but I have found myself on the way home from work on Wednesday stopping to pick the book up, which I don't ever do because ordinarily I just wait till Sunday to pick it up on Sunday and I'm done with it. Now, on the other hand, I'm picking it up and
Reading it first. Yes.
And that to me is almost a miracle because, and I find, like, to your point, I've read it once, then twice, and then I'm talking about it with people at work or friends, and then they'll mention something and I'm like, do what now? I don't remember that. Are you sure? And then I'll go back and I'll read maybe a third time and I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't see it the first two times. So it is, to me, that deep and that rich, and I love the way they weave together like regular comic panels with almost like a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, that's
I mean, it's almost like
it is encyclopedic. Yeah.
yeah, it is, which I'm fine with because to me it helps with the story. So because you don't have to like shoehorn it into some sort of this, you know.
Yeah, remember that time that
Yeah,
this happened?
right. You don't have to shoehorn it in. You can really just put it in there, give it as information, and then you know, and then you can move on.
Right. It fills the gap with really pertinent information in a very smart way.
That's right.
And then also the code, because the news have a language now, and
Yeah.
so that
Duke is deciphered.
This guy over here.
Yeah.
Look, there's so much going on. No lie. I mean, there's a code in there that I didn't pay any attention to. I just kind of put it in as kind of chalked it up to art.
Yeah, ditto.
And then Lucas posted on Facebook. He said, "Okay, this is what that means." And I'm like, "What the hell?" See, you know, yeah, every character had a letter. And I'm like, "Holy."
Does he do that in other comics?
He has done that in comics in the
It
past.
may-
He did it in his New Avengers run. There was the Builders code,
Okay.
which was the cipher.
Because it made me want to go back to Black Monday Murders and see if that was like.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if he's done anything in that or in East and West, but I don't. I may not have been looking for it. But yeah, once I saw that, like I kind of knew that it was kind of similar to the Builders code. And I was like, okay, yeah. And plus he posted a couple of things on Twitter, and then he probably deleted them. And so I had to go back and kind of find some of those to fill in some of the links. But yeah, I figured out the first issue and figured out the majority of it, and then went and found the stuff on Twitter.
Oh, just wait till you get
And,
that back page.
So
Have you not read
have you not read any of them yet?
No, he has not.
Oh, okay.
I have
Yeah.
okay, so like when I said earlier about it being cynical, about me being a cynical X-Men fan,
Yeah.
this whole time you guys have been talking about Hickman, I've had like the secret ball of like loathing. Because
I noticed, and then
yeah,
there's no
Yeah.
Missing time on all of that.
Yeah.
And so like,
So
and so like, I'm like going, well, let's just see how this goes. 6 issues in, and they're gonna fuck it up. They're gonna find a way to just,
Well,
go off a cliff.
Well, I will say,
and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But
I will say that one thing I do like about Hickman that he's done it with East and West. He even did it with like Monday Merge, even though that's only 8 issues out. I don't know if you're ever gonna finish that one, but he does exactly what you were talking about, where it's a lot of you don't know what's going on up front, and you're not meant to. And he slowly starts to peel away, the onion and give you the answer. And sometimes you don't even realize he's telling you stuff until, someone says, hey, what about this? And you're like, oh crap, what about that? You have to go back and look through it. So one thing that we talked about on our messenger, I think Chris actually made a comment about it, was the Asteroid K. The 8 mutants on Asteroid K.
yeah.
And they all talk about 7. Like, who's the 8? I didn't even catch that at the first. I had to go back and think, well, who are the 7?
See, that's the point, right?
Exactly.
You read, you're like, oh, wait, crap. It's just like you're reading
They
along,
made a
and then,
point to say, there are 8.
right?
Yeah.
You're reading along, and it goes,
or
it goes, line 5,
and then
line 7, and you're like, what? What? And if
Yeah.
you weren't paying attention, you might just read right past that.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. And I do really like about Hickman that he can give you you don't know what's going on, give you little clues and bits and pieces as you read, and then once you realize he's telling you what you know all along, then you go, man, I can't believe I missed that.
Here's something else. Okay, you guys know I've said it before how I hate variant covers. I hate them when they have nothing story.
All of them.
These variant covers are in the X-Men universe, and they're beautiful.
Have y'all seen the preview for issue 4?
I don't know.
No. Issue 4 of
Yeah.
21.
So it's the duel, the House and Powers is duel.
It's
in the blue and yellow costume.
They look like throwback.
Hey, Rashad,
It's throwback, but it's also been updated.
I know.
I did get
It looks so
I
awesome.
did get both variant covers. Like the posters they had at the House Power. I did get the variant of those two, and then the original covers. But I like
number 4, and then
Well, so what are some of your favorite things?
Yellow and blue still stand out.
What do you think as the X-Men aficionado here? We haven't heard from you yet.
y'all knew that I was excited for it. So, Hickman from reading East to West and Monday Murders and his other stuff, and reading his Avengers run. I was so excited for it, and it is like even reading the very that's it. But yeah, let me hold on, let me post a link. Anyway, yeah.
You talk, he's
Well,
that's pretty high.
So there's a Magic Powers. Hey, Shot, go to Reddit, go to Comic Books Reddit, and somebody has a picture of them put together.
Oh, that's good.
That's Rogue up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you want to do?
Go to Reddit / comic books, and they have it on comic books. Somebody put it together.
There are so many mysteries. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just
So that's what I was
chock-full.
gonna say. This is like Hickman go to Hickman, and this is like Hickman. This is him. It is scroll down. It's like it should be close to the top because it was posted yesterday. Anyway, I keep going. I keep getting distracted.
Say what you want.
No, I want to see this cover. It's
We'll
awesome.
let you know. Talk.
So,
I mean,
it is so dense. I had to go back and I read it. I read the first issue, and then I went back and I immediately read it again.
There it is.
Look at that! How awesome is that? It's like a Jim Lee throwback.
Yep.
It is just
Even a Wolverine.
Yeah.
There's only one of them.
I like the slight variations with them. It's just really great.
It's like I will probably buy that set of variants,
Right.
Because that looks so good. I immediately went back and read it again, and it is so full of just like you have to look at the little details, and but you have to. It's just Hickman has a way of telling you things to make you like he leaves out things. But it's not like it doesn't frustrate you. That's the thing. He has such a good job of keeping the mystery while still keeping you engaged.
Right.
And that's what I love about it. And we were talking about this earlier. The first three, so House 1, Powers 1, and House 2, were so like mind blowing. I mean, just absolutely just so much happening. Like Powers 2 is a little bit of a step back. It's a little bit of a breather, but I think you need that. You know.
Not quite as
so
maybe strong.
Yeah, it's not as, I wouldn't say, it's just, there's not any huge reveals, there's not any, but still some of that mystery. What I really love about it, though, is it just,
Or is it?
it feels so fresh. So we were just, and it's interesting that, like, I'm glad that I just kind of threw out God loves me and kills. Now, you know, so the juxtaposition of God loves man kills, where mutants are on their heels and they're down and they're representing the other. Like everybody has kind of, sometimes like they've alluded to it. They've kind of talked about it in Magneto. It's like what if mutants just finally got fed up and were like, screw you humans,
Right.
and we're just going to take over. But that's the thing is like. That would be a total comic book thing to do, right? Oh no, the mutants, they got these powers, and they're taking over, and now the humans are the lesser, blah, blah, you know. It's like it would be such a comic book thing to do. But he doesn't do that. Like he does this nuanced thing where it's like, okay, what if the mutants like became these benevolent dictatorship?
Right.
And so between Charles and Magneto, like you see that in Powers, you see the progression that it finally comes to the point to where, you know, that one scene, like 1,000 years in the future, where all of a sudden it's like the humans are in their cage, and it doesn't seem like they've taken it. I mean, it just seems like a natural evolution, you know?
Right.
It's like the way that we go to the zoo and look at monkeys, then, you know, it's that, you know.
Well, they talk about it being like, you know, hey, we collect dinosaur bones
Exactly.
so we can see what the
Just
past
see
was
what the
like.
past was like.
Now we got these humans in this cage that we
Right. So, I don't know, I love how that is, how that it is the mutants taking possession of their birthright, and, you know, trying to work still. You know, it's both Magneto and Xavier,
It's like a
right?
compromise.
Because they take their rightful place, but at the same time, they let the humans be, and they're like, okay, y'all get the rest of that. We're gonna take this.
You know, I just
If the humans had taken the deal, everything probably would have been fine. But they didn't. They did what people do, and they fought.
Yeah. Well, it was fine for a while. It's okay for a while, and then, you know, it always comes around. It's like a wheel. It's kind of like the Dark Tower. You know, the wheel and everything kind of comes around, right? So we especially see that with Mordor. It's like, okay, no matter what, these certain things are going to come around because that's just how it goes, right?
So, two things I was thinking about, because the more I think about this, just the more there is. But like the first thing I was thinking is that y'all know how I'm not a big, huge time travel kind of time monkeying around kind of person.
Yeah.
Because I normally think that it's just lazy writing, because you mess something up, so I'm just going to fix it. Right. But and I didn't think because of that I was going to like the book that is kind of like current nowadays. I thought I'd like it, right? But I wasn't sure about Powers because of the way it's going to.
Four different timelines.
Right. But what I found is I like it a lot. Because it adds to the story, like what you're talking about. Like you can see what it's like in the future, and you're thinking, well, how the hell did it get there, right? So that's one thought. So I do like it. I didn't think I would. But back to the whole kind of the key to this whole thing, the more thing, and I think we all know what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
We haven't given it too much away, but
I'm pretty sure we.
so two things on that. I think it is such huge payoff to people who have read the X-Men for so many years, because everything that has happened happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It didn't go away.
Yeah.
It did happen.
Right.
It just is not currently
So
happening.
Well,
I mean, it just
I don't know.
so in
We
other
don't
words,
know. That's the thing. It's like where does this fall?
But I
Well,
love,
no,
I love that because it's like it exists somewhere. And
yeah,
it's
like
nice.
it happened,
Exactly.
but then she dies, and
then
now something new happens. So it happened,
Yeah.
but it's not whatever life that last life is. That's the one that is now currently there.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
plus, here's the tip off, because you've seen over all these years, right? You've seen Professor X and Magneto fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then they are kind of friendly. Oh, then they're fighting again, and then they're friendly again. All that has happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now that all has been revealed to them about Moira, they finally realize, okay, we got to work together. We can't be no more of this back and forth, because we've seen that didn't work. That didn't work.
Yeah.
So now we got to do this.
And that's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
So it's this huge payoff in a way.
It's not one or the other. It has to be a mix of both.
Right.
Can I just add something? In the different timelines with Moira, what have those actually happened? Like, have those been stories that y'all read?
Some of
Y'all were
them.
like, oh,
I was actually flipping through that thing right now, and I was looking at that, and I actually recognize sometimes where the stories actually occurred.
Yeah, some of it is.
Some
And
of
some of it may happen, we just didn't know. I mean, yeah.
I also can I throw out a theory
Okay.
that I'm having, because I just thought about this when we were talking about Moira.
Mm-hmm.
She's got to be alive through all the powers of 10, doesn't she?
Well, that's somewhere in the
No. Think about it. If she dies, there's a whole other timeline that starts back up.
But who said
No,
that
well,
timeline goes away
for
from
her.
For her,
But the timeline keeps going. I mean, it's not like the timeline stops. Yeah.
Well, okay, so this is what is so interesting about this whole concept, right? Because you can ask the child. That entire night after I read it, my head was just like, I couldn't grasp it
Yeah.
until finally the following day, somebody had posted, like, okay, this is what happened. And when they explained it, I was able to go, oh, okay, well, all right, so that makes sense to me. Because up until that time, I was like you, I was thinking, okay, but what about, and then,
yeah, because there's all these different.
until I read that her power basically is when she dies in whatever life she's living, her consciousness goes back in time
Mm-hmm.
to her own body, and she starts over. So everything that's happened,
But those are different, all different timelines.
no, everything that happened now has gone away because she is now starting over.
And that's why in the diagram, some of the timelines seem to go on a little bit longer.
Yep.
And
That's the mystery too. Is like, what was going on there?
So
But
then
I
either
think-
she has to die before her mutant gene comes alive
Right.
in one of her timelines, or she has to remain alive.
Can I?
Otherwise, it will continue to go.
No, she can die at old age. She did. Remember?
No, what's happening is the year 10,000, 1,000, whatever. How is that still going on?
How does
Is she
that
still
ever occur
alive?
if she keeps dying and doesn't?
Do they still have? Well, Grant Morrison had that extra mutation that happens later on in life. Does that still happen here? The secondary mutations.
Probably.
Probably.
I think maybe something like what he's talking about could be a part of that. Like where, like maybe her secondary mutation is that she actually is the linchpin for the whole works.
Probably.
And what he says actually would fit that.
I'm calling it. She's the 8th mutant on Astro K.
That makes
Well,
think that
hold
makes
on.
sense.
So, okay, not that it has to make sense to me, but I mean, she's living a human life. It's not like she's immortal, right? She's just living her life over
It's
again.
true.
So she's living from like 1960 to 2020.
Yeah, she lived longer than him.
We don't know how long she lived after, you know, I mean, she
became a horseman.
She became a horseman with her apocalypse.
She lived
for a long time.
Wow.
So I guess it does depend on what happens to her in that life. So she could, for whatever reason.
No.
No,
You
I
actually
already cleared that out.
No.
Because I was like, okay,
And this is just a theory that I was just thinking of as we were talking about it. I
I
had
think
no
the
idea.
theories, Rashad, you had a theory too, right?
Yeah, it's what you said before. So the timelines, they have a dotted line. So if you see,
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them have dotted lines. So I think the third one is the one where it says that she went into a coma, and it goes ... And it makes you think that maybe her consciousness went back in time, but her body was not dead yet. So that timeline went on until she actually passed away.
Right.
Her body passed away.
Okay.
Same thing with the apocalypse timeline. Maybe somehow she's fully like techno-organic apocalypse horseman woman, and her consciousness is already gone, and she's just this body walking around, and that's why there's a ... And her consciousness already went back to the 10th timeline. Same thing with the last timeline. It's a ... but it's just saying that, oh, we don't know what's going to happen now
Right.
because she's not dead.
And then the other question then is, what about that missing timeline?
The six timelines?
Six,
So we have a message from Jennifer that says we are echoing a lot. So I don't know what's causing that.
It could be the
Or is Doug's mic picking us up?
problem.
Oh, because I'm back here at the ball.
You're the ball?
The wall, back here by the wall.
Gotcha.
I put by and wall at the same.
Right. I don't know who was talking, but keep going.
So.
I don't know.
Oh no!
We
I
kinda
mean,
talked this
yeah.
one.
So where was I? Oh, we were talking about them coming into power. So yeah, I'm just excited to see where it goes.
I have zero theories.
Yeah, so one thing though, it's interesting to me, and I kind of because we've seen what's been solicited, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I want to know how we get from where we are now to where we are, where what has been solicited.
Right.
Because everything that's been solicited seems to be in the present day.
Right.
And so maybe they're holding all, I mean, I don't know. I'm wondering if they're gonna, if everything is working toward present day and we're only gonna have present day stuff and we just kind of know these things happen in the future, or if they're actually gonna tell stories from the different periods
I think
later on.
that,
and they just haven't solicited to not spoil anything.
well, you know, in this last issue, you had that, it was the Phalanx, is that who is it?
The phalanx that showed
Phalanx
up,
came
yeah.
in and they absorbed the earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got Nimrod and his, or future Nimrod or whatever.
Mhm.
They got that mutant essence in the library.
Thank you,
They
Jennifer.
got whatever humans were left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that as they absorb them, maybe something happens, and there's a need to go back and fix whatever sent Earth and the mutants awry. And
Maybe, yeah.
and then that, so kind of like Days of Future Past, you know, they had the future thing, they went back, fixed a thing, and then comics moved forward. So I wonder if he's going to repeat that kind of, you know, thing.
Mhm.
So I did read someone else's fan theory about that a lot of this stuff that's happening in the future could possibly be what would have happened in another timeline, like the one that doesn't, we don't know where it ends, kind of thing.
Right.
So it might not be the true future timeline because it could have.
Yeah, it could have been. It could be
Well,
something
so
else.
any thoughts on who the librarian is, or is it just somebody
It's
we don't know?
Moira.
I don't know. You know,
I wonder.
I wonder if it's either Moira or if it's like Moira and Xavier's son Maybe.
That could be.
or something.
Because he's blue, right?
He's
I mean,
blue,
He looks
yeah.
alien.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like Charles.
So either
I
alien
really
or
like
mutant.
Charles,
I mean,
He
you
was
know,
bald.
I really thought it was Xavier when I first saw him. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, Xavier changed in the
Yeah.
future.
And
it's
so-
possible.
So is anyone getting kind of the lurking feeling? Because you see Nimrod on the panel, and you're thinking, okay, he's a bad guy, and even though in the comic he did some bad things there, or you think they're bad, you don't know that they're bad, but
Mhm.
they just feel bad.
Yeah.
But there's a lurking suspicion that I have that what he's doing is not necessarily bad. Is that only me that gets that?
I got a little bit of
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
it's a little,
I feel like the
it's
way
a little
they're writing
gray.
it, they make it feel kind of like
Well, I think because he's won.
it's like he's gray to me
Yeah.
more than he used to be. You know, used to be Nimrod was bad.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm getting a kind of a gray feeling.
Yeah, and I think it's like Mark said, you know, that's after the war has been won, essentially, and they're just dealing with the mutant resistance.
Exactly.
So I think that he it's the benevolent dictator thing again.
Because don't forget, he killed that dude. Like,
yeah, he straight up murdered those
He's
motherfuckers.
like,
Yeah.
you,
Oh yeah, he
you-
did. I mean,
you entertain me until you don't anymore, and then
Mhm.
you know.
yeah, I'm not saying that he's not
But I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not just.
You don't quite
yeah.
know his motives.
correct.
Right.
Because in the far future,
Mm-hmm. The little AI.
he's just yeah.
Yeah, it's the AI that he
it's
created.
weird.
And that's another thing that is interesting. Well, there's so many interesting things, but what is it? The man machine?
Man Machine Mutant War.
Yeah, it's man machine something. Anyway, is that saying? Are they saying then that machines have gained sentience? Is that what they're saying? Is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah,
with
they
all
gain
that?
sentience at some point.
Mhm.
They always do, and then there's a war between
Right.
man and machine.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Yeah, Man Machine Mutant War.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
That was
we
fun.
all like So now we just gotta watch. We gotta read. So tomorrow is Powers 3. They're flip flopping, which is interesting.
It's just for these next
So
two,
for
and then
these
they
next
go back.
two, and
right?
then they go back. Yeah. So it's gonna be. So we've
And then they
had
do
two
it
of
again
each, and
later
then it's
down
gonna
the
be
road.
Powers House, and then House Powers, and then back and forth again.
Yeah, I think they do it twice. I think they do it again later.